There's just one event left to go, it's the anchor pull, and my goodness, Dan, what a competition or what.
Sam, these guys are phenomenal athletes, and this is turning out to be the toughest UK Strongest Man competition yet.
And for the final event of the qualifier, the harness and rope pull. But this time it's not about pulling a vehicle, it's this massive anchor and chain weighing in at 450 kilo to be pulled over a course of 20 meters. The fastest time is going to win it, and we're going to see who's going to reach the final of UK Strongest Man 2009.
Well, terrific strength and speed endurance needed in this, as well as strength, certainly. Richard Smith will go on the left of our trio. There'll be three, Lewis McLean and Richard Smith. Well, when you look at Mark Lawson and Lewis McLean, they know they can't progress to the final, but they're going to have a real go at this. And certainly when you look to the second group, Glenn Ross, Jay Hughes, Mark Westerby, well, nobody really has to do anything. The last event really decided who was to go out, and with the final looming, then they won't want to do more work than they have to. So Richard Smith on the left of your shot, Lewis McLean in the middle, Mark Lawson on the right. Jeffrey.
It's a tough event, Stuart. Obviously the whole length of the chain is dragging along the floor, creating a lot of friction, but they're going well. They're looking at each other to see where they are on the run, and I think McLean's in the lead at the moment.
Yes, he is. He's really giving it a big effort, isn't he? Mark Lawson having problems, and Richard Smith on the left also down, but this is, as you say, is very, very tough. Once you've overcome the inertia, that's to get it moving, then you've got to keep it moving. Once you stop, it's a real problem. It really is.
Exactly. They've got to keep it moving, Stuart. The legs have got to keep pumping away, and they mustn't stop. You stop, you may as well just jack in.
Just look, he's just leaning against it. Nothing more to come from Richard Smith.
There's a huge weight there, Stuart, over 400 kilos.
Well, certainly the back of the anchor has to go over that white line. It's not just about the man going across it, so there's an awful long way to go. Remember, the course is 20 meters, so Lewis McLean is probably 4 or 5 meters short if you take the length of that anchor into account. He can't quite get it moving again, because once you lose momentum on it, then you really are in trouble. You've got to try and establish some sort of motion to the implement and then keep it going if you can. But that's not easy at 450 kilograms. Another look at this.
Mark was already going all over the place, Stuart.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Not too bad to start with, but then faltered a little bit at the end, and really all credit to Lewis McLean and Mark Lawson. They know they're out of the final. Jay Hughes goes in the second trio, Mark Westerby and Glenn Ross. Now, Jay Hughes, Glenn Ross really don't need to do anything, although I would think they have to achieve some distance for it to count and for them to go forward. So I don't expect to see too much from these two. They have qualified. We know the top 4 from Pool A to go through. We know that now. And so we'll just get them to move the anchor, I would think. And well, Jay Hughes hasn't even broken the start, actually. He hasn't got over the start line. I'm just wondering, well, obviously the rule isn't, as I said, and it's not so crucial to get it over the line, but I would have thought that would have been the case. They have to move it.
I would have thought so, Stuart, to get a point at least and to count as taking part in that event.
But even then, if he doesn't get it, he gets no points at all, I would have thought. Then
exactly.
It doesn't. But it doesn't matter because he's qualified anyway.
Yeah.
And you're right. And look at that, Glenn Ross and Jay Hughes doing that. Look, he's saying, yeah, there is a little bit. It's that part of the anchor that goes across. So yeah, I've done it. He said, that's all I need to do. And Glenn Ross is just over a metre. He's got. I think we know by now. For some, this was a serious endeavour. For others, well, it was just academic. Mark Westerby, incidentally, is one man looking forward to the final. Let's hear what his thoughts are.
I've just been pushing myself, but not to the absolute limit, you know, on every event. Conserve a lot of energy. and take the break off in the final, really. I don't enter the final with any injuries or absolutely spent, because it's going to be an awesome one, you know. I've never competed in such a level as this before, and I've been to the Worlds, and this is heavier, more grueling, and the lads are just so good, you know, all big-hearted lads, and well, it's just great to be here, really.
Just confirmed the result of the anchor pull, or the chain and anchor. Lewis McLean, 6 points he got from that. Richard Smith 5, Mark Lawson 4, Westerby 3, Glenn Ross 2, and Jay Hughes 1. But of course, the two men out, Lewis McLean and Mark Lawson. So the finalists, Glenn Ross, Mark Westerby, Richard Smith and Jay Hughes. Total weights lifted on day 2, 1,345 kilograms for Glenn Ross. And you can see how the rest fared below, down to Jay Hughes at 735.
Glenn Ross showing us there again that it's not just about brawn, it's about brain too, with Mark Westerby chasing him all the way.
Without a doubt, Sam, I cannot wait to see Mark Westerby and the daddy Glenn Ross go head-to-head in the final.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Dan.
And we'll see you next time.
Well, of course, the story is one of elimination from the final for Mark Lawson here. He did his best, but couldn't quite prevail. Lewis McLean is the other casualty of the Group A round and find no place in the final. But who is in the final? Well, let's just catch up with them. Jay Hughes, he's there. Glenn Ross, Big Daddy, defends his title. He's in the final again. And so is Richard Smith. And Mark Westerby completes the lineup from Group A.